There's power in taking a photograph. There's power in being an artist.
It's the Phoenix Film Revival Podcast.
All right. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Phoenix Film Revival Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Iannicone. And today we actually have a gentleman who came through and wanted to, get involved in the community and is visiting from out of state. And I said, you know what, let's have you on the podcast. It took a minute, looked at some of his work, and definitely spend some time not only shooting, but also printing. So I'm excited to have John here today and chat about, I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Oh, yeah. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Man, it's hot out here, but it's beautiful. It's super beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Man. So my name is John Nance. Let me go back. My name is John Romero Nance Jr., and I'm a photographer based out of Wisconsin. And I would say I've been shooting for close to 10 years. I would say amateur-wise, I would say 5. And then for the other 5, I would say professionally. I would consider myself professional. I think so. I mean, when you think about photographers, I think once you're shooting and you're printing and, like, you're going into the technical part of, like, the ins and the outs of making an image, I would consider yourself a professional. Yeah, you might not be the best yet, but you definitely, take your work serious.
Yeah.
I think anyone who takes their work serious would be considered professional in some form, at least.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Feels good to actually say that by myself now.
Yeah.
'Cause for the longest time, I'm just like, nah, I'm just a kid that likes to use a camera.
It's hard to see that change over from, being amateur and moving into a professional spot, because you don't really know when you really hit that.
No, not at all.
It takes some time to understand that.
And you always feel like you should be doing more, and you always feel like you should be getting better too.
Yeah.
I'm my biggest critic for sure. And I'm just like, yeah, man, this works good, but they're not matching your pre-visualizations. They're not matching your dreams of what you want an image to look like. Yeah. And I think you continue until you're more comfortable with what you're making.
Yeah.
And I think right now I think I will forever be at a point where I'm always trying to make better work. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever get stagnant with what I make. I'm like, all right, this is cool, but what else can I do?
Yeah.
And it's always that challenge. And I think that'll keep me going forever, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think if you keep putting that in your head, you're like, hey man, you're good, but you're not the best. And nor will you ever be the best, but you should try to you should aspire to try to get near the best.
Yeah.
Or at least just hang out in a group with a bunch of cool photographers that are the best. I just want to be around the best.
There's a lot to photography. I don't think I'm the best at all, but I always appreciate hanging out and interacting with people who really have their stuff down, and under kind of
Agreed.
More of a curiosity for me, at least.
And that's the thing. And I think it's not about who you are as a photographer and how you photograph. I think it's more about what does photography do for you. Yeah. It's like think about it. It's like, think less about yourself and the cameras, the equipment. Just think about as a whole, what does photography do for you, your brain? What does it do for other people? How does it make you perceive the world? How does it change your outlook on the world? It's it's definitely a tool, because it's a tool that helps you learn other things outside of what it's used for. Yeah. And I think that's the beautiful part about it.
Yep. You're documenting moments in time.
Yes, 100%. You're freezing time for sure. And you're the only person to ever go back and forth and be able to look at these images. You're in control at a certain point. And when you think about authority and people in the world and power, it's this is your power. You can take this and you could use it for good, or you can use it for bad. Yeah. And it's what do you choose to do with it? Yeah. And it's I'm not going to say what's bad, but I'll tell you what's good. Yeah. And I think taking an image and being able to like make someone look at themselves and be like, maybe I do look good. Maybe I should feel better about myself. And what does it do for you? Like, oh man, like, you know, I'm not able to connect with as many people as I want to, and I want to learn more in the world. What do? You pick up a camera.
Yep.
That helps you get out there and like, you know, become a bookworm, become a sponge to everything. And I think, you know, a camera is that tool to help you get in these rooms and these places that most of the time you probably don't belong, but having a camera with you can help you get in these places.
Yep.
And I think it's done that like tenfold for me for sure.
Yeah.
Like being a kid from like the inner city and not having like resources. I mean, of course, and I've had it better than most people. I would say I'm privileged, like as a kid, to like be able to move away from the inner city and like have a parent that's able to teach me something and also be around people who are able to teach me things. I'm privileged.
Right.
It's like, yes, I come from a place where we aren't that privileged. And like I have like kids who look like me who will probably sadly never see certain things that I've seen or like, you know, get out and like take trips places that I've been. And
Right.
like I personally feel like I should do more of that. But then there's some people who haven't done a lick of it.
Right.
So it's like, you know, it's like I don't know if you call it survivor's guilt, whatever you call it. But
Yeah.
I think just you're like in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like it's like you feel grateful or people, no, how should I say that? I think to yourself, you should feel like you should be grateful for what you've obtained
Yeah.
and what you've done. But then also you look back and you're like, damn, we didn't really have much, or we weren't really given much. So maybe I should get up here and try to get all that I can.
Yeah.
And not in a very stingy way, but like, you know, get out there, learn, and be able to go back and like give and like, you know, give people these like insights on things. And like, I like going back home and like sometimes telling my friends like, hey man, it's like, you know, this place isn't the only place you belong. It's like the world is yours.
Yeah.
And yes, the world may tell you that it's not yours, but I'm telling you, you can get out there and you can do so much more stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's like how I approach you, and that's how we met. And I'm like scrambling, I'm going all over, but like it all goes back to how I approached you and how I messaged you. I'm like, dude, this guy tells me, you know, can we cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if this guy just tells me like, fuck off, like, you know, why is this kid messaging me? It's like the worst thing you can say is like, nah, dude, I'm busy right now. I don't have time to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, you're also like willing to like take the time, sit with me, conversate, and I'm learning things from you, and you may pick up a couple of things from me.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's like, I think that's the beauty of like, you know, we fell in love with cameras.
Yep.
That's why we're here. That's why we're talking.
Yep.
We're not shooting, we're talking. And like, and that's a thing. The camera's a tool, but it also brings other things, and it like it amplifies and starts other things. It's
Yeah.
like this conversation could inspire me to do so much other shit after this.
Yeah.
I don't even know. But that's kind of like, you know, that's where I'm at with the work, man, and like
Yeah.
what photography kind of means for me at the moment.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel manic at times. I mean, that's the best way I can describe it. And it's like photography for me, at least, interacting with people. I mean, I could talk till I'm blue in the face. Like, I don't think I could.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I could just stop talking about photography. And there's
like-
oftentimes I find myself talking. I'm just like,
You just feel alone.
oh, it's been a while. I need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's yeah, photography will definitely take you places. You just gotta let it. You know, speaking of, you said you were from Wisconsin.
Yes.
So I'm kind of curious what the scene is like there
Oh man.
in that part of the country.
Well, like, I guess it's like, what do you want to learn about it? Like, you want to learn about the people? You want to know about, like, you know, the weather? Like, what do you want to know about it?
I guess a little bit of everything. What's
Well, we are one of the drunkest states
Oh, wow.
in America.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Like, our thing is, like, you know, it's either drinking, it's either, like, going out and being outside and doing outdoor stuff when it is warm.
Yeah.
And, like, when it's cold, it's like everyone's hibernating. And
Right.
if it's really cold and you're not hibernating, you're like outside, like fishing on ice or something, or you're doing like, you know, winter stuff.
Yeah.
Hunting, you know, it's a very Midwestern, like kind of like state. And it's like, you know, all the little like small cities, and too, like we have a lot of like greenery. We have a lot of like farm areas and stuff like that. It's beautiful out there, man, and like Wisconsinites, we're really nice. I would say so, unless you piss
Yeah.
us off.
Yeah.
Then we're crazy. Then I don't want to mess with us. But like it's I think it's a really nice place for artists to save money and like grow and like just like be in a place where you're experiencing all four seasons. I think that's the beautiful part too. Well, the sucky part is like winter's like the most like amount of the year, so it's like
Right.
we get like a couple months of fall, a couple months of spring, a couple months of summer, and then summer maybe a little bit longer, and then goes straight into like fall, winter, and it's like, dude, it's annoying because
Yeah.
like the snow is consistent, and it'll go away, and then it'll come back, and then I'm just like, all right, well it's very bipolar,
Yeah.
very bipolar. Our weather is like, it's beautiful, but it's the worst sometimes. And like the people, like I said, the people are like really kind, man. It's like you can meet a lot of really good people from like all around the world. It's like, all the other states kind of have like their own thing going on. And like, whether we're talking like weather and like floods and we're talking like tsunamis and stuff like that. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
think we get any of those like in the
No.
US. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we're pretty fortunate on that
yeah,
part.
but like we definitely don't get a lot other than like rain and like just really shitty snow, to be
Yeah.
honest. So
Fair
I'm
enough.
grateful for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like Wisconsin. I'm kind of at a point where I don't think I've experienced the world enough. So I'm kind of like, I'm antsy, I'm young. I'm like, I want to get up and go and I want to move here and I want to
Yeah.
be somewhere warm. I want to go to parties. I want to go to Coachella. And I'm just like, and I don't, but I definitely just, I don't know, I want to experience the world a little more.
Yeah.
Trying to get my passport. I'm trying to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And like, and even if it's just coming here, man, like, I think that's what it is. I think it's just leaving your comfort zone and going places and seeing stuff, really.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's definitely a nice place to like relax and like, have a peace of mind. And like, I feel like if I could explain the Midwest in that way, like, yeah, we got our crime. We got our like, it's cold. And when it is warm, it's like people don't know how to act.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's definitely a cool place to live, man. We're kind of off to the side when you think about everyone else, like California, Florida, Mississippi, Texas.
Yeah.
We got New York and everyone on the side. We're kind of like against the wall.
Yeah.
That's like a good way to put it. So
Gotcha.
we're just kind of, we're spectators.
Yeah. Do you would you say there's many photographers that that live there? How's the community there where you're at?
The community's pretty, I would say it doesn't get clicky until you get in like the inner cities, like when people are really making money and like, when everyone's watching.
Yeah.
I think people definitely like to work with specific people when they're out there. But I would say for the most part, I would say everyone collaborates with everyone else, for sure. And I think everyone kind of has a mutual respect for everyone else. Unless, like we were talking about before, unless you find certain people who don't move with like kindness and like, a basic sense of like humanity. It's like some
Yeah.
people are greedy and
Yeah.
it's like, some people want more than others. And sometimes people want to be the only one in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So you get those people, but I think that happens everywhere. But for the most part, I definitely think we communicate enough.
Yeah.
For sure. But also like dude, when it's cold too, we're introverts.
Yeah.
For sure. People love to stay in the house. Sometimes I feel like we're people that make stuff.
Yeah.
And then we don't even put it out because it's kind of just like
Yeah.
we're like in our own little world. I
Yeah.
feel like that's kind of Wisconsin
Fair enough.
from an artist's like perspective.
Yeah.
Black artists too, because like I live in a predominantly white area, so
Yeah.
like I'm a black guy shooting film and like I'm fucking good at it too. So like it's like I could take different routes. Like
Yeah.
I could take advantage of like the community and like just shoot like parties and like and like do the commercial stuff. But like I don't know, man. Like I'm cool where I'm at and just making black and white images and making good prints.
Yeah.
And now I think that's like what I want to take advantage of in a good way. Like I just want to take advantage of making good portraits in black and white. And they don't even have to be portraits. I want to get outside of that. I want to
Yeah.
shoot landscapes. I want to shoot objects and like, make them look good. But black and white keeps me intrigued in the world.
Yeah.
Keeps my brain running.
Yeah. Black and white's great. You get to go from start to finish with, going analog. So you shoot the film, you develop it, and then you make the prints.
Oh, yes, man. For sure. I feel like I've been talking about other stuff. We got to get into that, man.
Yeah.
We got to get into the real reason why we came here.
So, I mean, as far as photography is concerned, you mentioned that you make darkroom prints. I've seen some of your work on Instagram. I think it's amazing. You definitely have put in the effort there. It's not like you just started yesterday.
For sure. You want to hear a funny story how it started, though?
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right. So, high school year, when I first moved out of the inner city, I moved to like this. I wouldn't say the suburbs, but I moved outside of Milwaukee, like when I was 16, and I went to Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And my first year there, we had a darkroom class, and I don't know if my film teacher will ever hear this, but I also was really annoying with my film class too. I was like really ADHD, always moving around. He'd have to tell me to be quiet all the time, and I never would pay attention. I was the only kid in the class that always never paid attention, but I never knew that I would grow up and like love this stuff. So like even like, yeah, if Mr. Riff, if you're out there, dude, I'm sorry. Please talk to me. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. But yeah, man, like that first class was like pivotal for me because it was the only class and only like hour of the day where I would completely just zen out. And I'd be in the dark room. Some people have to knock on the door and tap me and like, hey dude, class is over. And I'm like, and like we would only get an hour, but I'd want to be in there like, making
that's not
like,
enough time to do anything.
No, give me like 5 hours in a dark room. That's like that's a decent day for sure. But like the dark room was like, man, it definitely, it was something I didn't comprehend enough, but I knew it was there, and I knew like, and at this time I loved photography, so like it was cool, and I'm like like I couldn't do film, so like it really wasn't on my mind to be like like I can make a dark room, I could buy a film camera, I could go shoot film, do all this stuff professionally. Like that's like when my mind was like in like amateur photographer mode. Like I'm just like, oh, I got a camera and I just want to shoot pictures. I didn't know that I could actually make a living or like, go places and meet people and like put work places and like, make stories. Like that's not where my mind was. Yeah. And I think what really like when that snapped, I think that's where film came in. I'm like, man, this stuff is like expensive, and also it's very selective with a certain amount of images. Why would people shoot this? And then as you like keep going, you're like, oh, maybe if I shoot really specific stuff, it definitely would make more sense. So like started to shoot film. And the funny part about my first like film photography like class is I failed the class on purpose twice. The second time they wouldn't let me do it. They're like, why did you fail the first time? I'm like, because I want to take the class again. And I was in the class for the third time because I failed it again on purpose. And they're like, dude, you can't do that. So they had to take me out of the class.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I failed it a couple times on purpose just so I could keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because they only let you do it like one semester.
Yeah.
Or you'd have to like pay or like do like after school stuff. But I don't think they were letting us do that. So I would literally find excuses to like stay in that room.
Yeah.
I would try to turn it to like my last hour of the day too. So like I could do after school stuff in there because I know the teacher wouldn't leave for like 30 minutes to like an hour. But like I tried to maneuver my way through. But that was my first darkroom experience, and like that definitely like shifted and changed everything for me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, being in the darkroom is magical.
Oh, so, yeah, man.
I mean, you could spend hours and hours and hours.
Throw on some Fleetwood Mac, man. Just go crazy. Got my little apron on.
There's some people here that they take classes through the Phoenix Center for the Arts or Phoenix College, I think, and they have a darkroom. But you have to take a semester, so you have to pay for the entire semester. You can't just rent out their darkroom. Throughout the year. So they end up taking the class over and over and over again in order to get access to their darkroom.
Oh yeah.
So
man.
I mean, I get it.
Telling you, man.
It's a struggle. It'd be nice to have more community darkrooms. You just go in and use it.
Yeah, because building your own darkroom is like, it's a piece of work. And like, you don't know your life circumstances. You don't know whether you have to move in the next couple of months. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know like whether you don't know whether like you'll be able to like get access to all the equipment they actually have. So it's like why don't you just have a set place that everyone can come and use it and everyone kind of fills into it?
Yeah.
And of course, you expect people to respect the gear and like, stuff like that.
Yeah. There's
And-
definitely challenges
And
there.
most of the time when you're like getting people to print, most of the time you're getting people who actually know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
You don't get randoms to come in and be like, what's this? Should I use this lens for this? Can I like open the box out here?
Yeah.
Just stuff like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, can I turn my flash on to see if there's paper inside?
Yeah. I know it's you gotta understand the process to do it. And then you also have to be crazy enough to, in some ways waste your time, perfecting a print. A lot of people see it that way, but it's learning and it's understanding to get to that final print. So is there a community darkroom that you had mentioned something about building one or?
Yes. Shout out time. I'm just kidding. So Photo Op in Appleton, Wisconsin, we just opened a community darkroom and it's owned by 3 guys. It's owned by Mark, it's owned by John, and it's owned by Graham. And they're all, and the beauty about those guys and how I look at them, because I'm a younger photographer, I look at all these guys as like the holy trinity of photography. You got Mark, he's worked in darkrooms his whole life. He's a film nerd. He's a bookworm. Like if I like have any like film, like photography questions in like developing and like printing, I'm always going to talk to that dude. Like I did a project called Meet Your Neighbor, and it was 25 darkroom prints, 25 audio recordings, and photographs. Shot it all in large format, and we printed it all on 20 by 24 paper. Oof. It's the biggest paper I've ever printed.
Oh, man.
You think I was excited now talking about it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I was like a big kid in ice cream, man. Dude, I was like, we get to shoot it, project it on the wall. How many pages do we get? 50. And I'm just like, I'm going at it like 6 hours a day. Like, I'll go work 8 hours, come back to the dark room, and just be there. It's like 2, 3 in the morning, just like printing, man.
Yeah.
And like, he watched me print and he was just like, don't do that. So like I got that guy around me. It kind of did like teach me like, technical stuff. And then we got John and Graham, and Graham's more technical with like commercial photography, digital photography. And then we got John, and he's more like in the video world. And like, he also loves photography. So it's like, we have that holy trinity of like camera work. And it's like having those dudes is like, I think it's amazing. I'm excited to see where the place goes. We haven't actually opened yet, but in the next couple of months, we're hoping to get like the place renovated and start going. So the top half is community photo studio, basement, community darkroom. That'll be the first community darkroom in the Fox Valley.
Oh,
like
awesome.
In a 60, 70, 80 mile radius. So we're hoping like to get people like intrigued in it. And like what I'm hoping is like we make it like so popular enough to like it just pays for itself and it runs on its own for like the next 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Because like, it'd be nice to have Wisconsin as a home base, man.
Yeah.
And just like kind of like move around. But yeah, Photo Op. Appleton, Wisconsin, coming to you. Well, not coming to you. You got to come to us.
Yeah.
But 2024, I would say so.
Okay.
Maybe the end of this year. But, I'm hoping for the best. It's going to work out, though. Man, like, film's expensive, but people love it. And I don't think it'll ever go anywhere. So
yeah.
I'm excited for that.
As long as we got people passionate about it
Yes.
and pursuing it.
Keep buying film.
Yeah.
We want to buy film.
Buy film, shoot it, and then go print it.
Shoot. You guys keep shooting the color, and I'll take all the black and white stuff for myself.
It's it's always good to see darkrooms open up. There was one that was struggling a little bit, blanking on the name, but they just opened. Obscura Darkroom, I believe, is the one.
Where is that?
I don't remember.
I saw it.
New Jersey, I think.
Yeah, it was a film lab that opened up a couple months ago.
Yeah, Obscura Darkroom. Funny story about them. They were, they had just opened. I want to say like 5 years ago, 6 years ago ish, and they started going, but then they ran out of funding, and so they had to close it. Which was really unfortunate, but they did manage to figure something out and get funding somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And so now there's another community darkroom in New Jersey. There's a community darkroom. I think they changed. That was in San Diego. Mm-hmm. My buddy Rob was running that, Safe Flight Labs. And then he moved to exposure camera. He bought exposure camera shot, and I think it was exposure. I don't remember. It's one of those ones. And I think he ended up having to close the darkroom part of it, but I'm sure he wants to get that up and running again.
You definitely need something else to usually fund dark rooms, because sometimes it's hard for dark rooms to sustain on their own. I don't think people develop and do dark room enough to, like, you know, definitely make enough money to pay for things every.
Yeah, same thing with our space here. I mean, what funds the space is the workshops. And we do our best to keep the workshops affordable. And then the open lab, we don't charge much because we want people to come in and use the space.
Yeah, you want it to be like obtainable for people.
Yeah.
Do you guys have like merch and stuff like that? I'd buy something.
Yeah, we have some t-shirts, and we just started bulk loading films. So we actually have some 3 different stocks that we got from a school. And we decided, okay, well, we have all this film. We have 40, 100-foot rolls of film. Oh, lots of film.
Really? So, do you have like a room where all that stuff? I just want to take a picture of all of it.
It doesn't. Surprisingly enough, 40 rolls of film doesn't take up that much space. Of 100
40
foot roll.
100-foot rolls. Though.
40 100-foot rolls. Yeah. Damn. I mean, it's probably about a banker's box size, but still a lot of film. So we've got to bulk load all of that. I got an actual trimmer, so I ordered from Revlog is different. Res something. They manufacture bulk loading equipment, and
really?
they 3D print, and then they also have other dyes that they manufacture for like trimming film.
I'm gonna have to get some bulk loading tips from you after this for sure.
Oh yeah, it's actually pretty easy to bulk load.
I tried twice.
Yeah,
but I think I did it wrong the first couple times.
Yeah, you have to have the right equipment, and then you just need to know the process.
Yeah.
But surprisingly enough, I mean, it was actually pretty easy for us to do that. And then we've gotten our blank cassettes from Tempe Camera, so they've given away theirs, which is nice. So we ended up having cassettes. We got film that we got for free, and then as a basically kind of donating back to the community darkroom. And then we sell the merch. We have a Patreon that we've got set up, which is nice. And you can drop off a roll a month, $10 a month. You can drop it off next door at the plant shop, Pueblo. I'll pick it up, develop it.
Cool, by the way.
Yeah, Pueblo's great. And then pick it up. We'll develop it, scan it, drop the negatives back off, and then you can pick the negatives up. So
hell yeah, man. I hope the workshops work for you guys, man. I hope you guys get to do more and more people contribute for sure.
Yeah,
I would love to see this place flourish.
Yeah, my wife Stacy just has cleaned up the lab quite a bit.
Shouts out Stacy, you know what I'm saying?
We've got a file cabinet in here, not a file cabinet, but a locker for members. Help clean up and store stuff in here, and then we've cleaned up the space quite a bit. She painted the floor, which is nice. We put up some shelving, organized it a bit, threw away a bunch of stuff that was just hanging out in here that was donated that just was not worth keeping. But it's a bit of a challenge for you to maintain a community darkroom.
Oh yeah.
There's definitely got to be passion there. You got to expect not to make any money up front. You have to expect to put in a lot of hours to maintain it and get it up and going. 100%. A lot of people think it's it's not quite like running a coffee shop.
No, yeah, for sure.
You have a smaller demographic of people that come through or market really, and so and a lot of those people who are already shooting don't really need those services because they don't print. They just shoot and go online. So
100%.
But we're doing what we can to get involved here. There's also another community, AZ Photography Alliance. So give them a shout out. They're actually a really awesome group, older generation, kind of appreciating photography, both digital and film.
Yeah.
So they've got some resources. They also have a lot of knowledge.
Seems like it for sure.
Tons of knowledge. So, I mean, we're going to be working on some collaborations. They just had a opening show for their members.
Where is that
Friday?
show?
It's actually downtown Phoenix. It's kind of weird. It's off of 3rd Street and Osborne, roughly.
I think I might go there after this.
Yeah.
I might go check it out.
Yeah, see if they're open. I'm not sure what their hours are,
Okay.
but definitely worth checking out. Awesome show there.
Should I ask for someone specifically if I do go?
I'm not sure who will be there.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different photographers.
I'll just bring
in
your
that
name
show.
up. I'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, just mention Phoenix Film Revival. You're on the list.
Like, oh, that guy? Yeah. He's awesome.
We're definitely trying to get involved with them because they have so much knowledge and so much history. These people have been shooting for decades.
Yeah, man.
Just there's so much knowledge there. So trying to figure out ways. We're probably going to have them on the podcast as well.
Yeah, dude.
And then do some collaborative shows with them. So we'll see how that goes in the future. But yeah, community is important. I'm excited for you guys with that dark room opening up. I think that's really important. It always makes me happy to see that there are people out there still pushing forward to keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about photography, it's like, when you start looking at all like, the mirrorless stuff and like, no one wants to spend $2-3 on a camera, dude.
Right.
It's like, give me $200-$300. I'll go buy a film camera and I'll start just doing all the other stuff on my own.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, that's definitely a more interesting route.
Yeah.
No offense to, mirrorless camera lovers and stuff out there. If you shoot them, they're awesome. Don't get me wrong. Also, Nikon, if you want to send me one for free, I'm out here. But yeah, man, it's the digital world will always be there, and it will always keep going forward. But man, we can't forget about film. We can't forget about the history of like how photography started.
Yeah.
And I think that's with anything. It's like, you do something professional wise. It's like even musicians, when you think about like the first, like, I wouldn't say the first time someone discovered music, because Lord knows how long ago that was.
Yeah.
But like when you think about the process of music and like today's process, I know a lot of musicians go back and like learn the basics. You have to learn the basics, and the basics in photography or printing and film photography. Learning how to manually analogly, I don't know if that's even a word, probably not, but making an image from like something like so manual and like bringing it to life, putting it on a piece of paper and like, like the correct lighting. It's like the technical process. I can go into it so hard, but like the in and outs of like making something from scratch and bringing it to its final form. It's like cooking a meal, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it's amazing. It's truly amazing. And there's so many different ways to do it.
There is. There's a million ways to skin a cat.
Oh yeah.
As
dude,
they say.
you could develop film with some coffee, and I've never tried it yet, but you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's people out there. I mean, I've done paper types, and, experimented with coffee and wine, beer. There's tons of different options.
I love wine, by the way. I'm a wine lover. I love wine.
I used to be able to drink wine, and I can't really do that anymore.
It's a lot.
Which is
Well,
unfortunate.
red wine, not white wine. I mean, a lot of the stuff has so much sugar, especially American wine.
Yeah.
Like we have so much stuff put inside of it.
My challenge is the sulfites.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sulfites. I just struggle with it.
Really?
Anything like sulfa-based drugs were like, I would just get rashy, and so the sulfites and any sulfa stuff, I guess I'm just sensitive to. I used to drink lots of wine though.
Really?
But,
Yeah. I'm trying to cut down on the drinking, man, to be honest. It's like, it's like we talk about how expensive film is. It's like, honestly, maybe it's not that expensive. Maybe everyone else just has these weird vices on top of trying to shoot film.
Yeah.
It's like you shoot large format, you can't be like an alcoholic and like a guy who likes to smoke weed all the time. Actually, you know what? Someone's going to listen to this and like, dude, I do it every day.
That's me. That's my life.
Yeah, it's my life, man. I'm like, and nothing against it, but it's like, man, you have something you love and you want to do it to the fullest extent. It's like, sometimes you just have to cut it down on certain things.
Yeah.
So yes, you can smoke and drink and shoot large format, but you got to balance it out, man. You can't do all three.
Gotta find a balance to.
Yeah, large
all
format
that.
before anything, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I'm looking at some of your photography on your Instagram.
It's all right.
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
it's
Yeah, that's whatever.
It's all AI. That's actually not my work.
Yeah, I stole it from the computer.
You do a lot of portrait work, and you do a really good job with this stuff.
Thank you, man.
I really like the vibe that you got. Got them tones.
Oh yeah, man. I'm always super weird about black and white photography when it comes to chemistry and when it comes to like development and
Yeah.
like how I do that. Cause like, man, like this is how I look at it. Before we had like Photoshop and all the extra stuff to like perfect things, it's like people would perfect it in the camera.
Yeah.
It's like you do it right the first time. And I think it's how you shoot also. It's how you shoot, and then it's also how you develop. And it's a whole different science when it comes to that stuff. And
Yeah.
like, there's the third part where comes printing, but the first two are the most important. It's like, how you shoot, how you expose your subjects, and like when you do that, like what's your development like process? It's like, what are you using? How much are you agitating? It's like, how long do you let this like, rinse and like sit in water so you don't get all the little scuds and all the little weird stuff on your film. It's like, down to the T, man. And I think that's what excites me about film, because there's always something I have to learn. There's always something that I'm doing wrong and I have to correct. And I think that makes it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always something to adjust.
Yes, 100%. And I've been working with Rodinal lately. Rodinal's beautiful. Rodinal's really contrasty and really grainy. And no one really likes grain like that. Unless you're like, shooting like maybe like skateboarders or like rock bands and stuff. People who would like naturally go towards grain.
Yeah.
But Rodinal is also it's the oldest like chemistry in the book. One of the oldest chemistries in the book. So like, it was nice working with it for a while, but HC110 is kind of where I'm at. I'm just working with different dilutions and like also like, different development times and, seeing what fits right. Maybe using different water, distilled water, stuff like that. Got to start doing that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But there's a lot of little in and outs, a lot of little things you can do to make your film photography experience a lot more intriguing, a lot better, a lot worth it.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's like really where I'm at.
What's your preferred format, would you say?
Large format. Sorry, I had to say it.
Large
format.
Large.
Large format.
So you have a little bit of everything. You mentioned you have 35 medium
35.
4x5.
Yeah, 35. Well, man, this is I'm gonna take you on a ride through my brain. 35, 120, large format are all three completely different formats, and each one of them should be used. Not should be, but can be used in so many different scenarios, and I think that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Picking and choosing. Like, I came to Arizona with just my medium format camera.
Yeah.
And I was going to bring my 35, but I'm like, 20 rolls is a lot of film. And it's like, am I really going to shoot all that stuff? So it's like, I want to challenge myself. Maybe I'll go here one day with just this. Maybe I'll take this. And then sometimes, like, because I do digital work too every once in a while, so that's a little inflicting because I'm like, digital's so quick, so fast, so easy, and I got paid.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I'm like, this is cool. But then I'm just like, well, that's over now.
Yeah.
That was really quick. So it's like, I like the process of film and like, how long it takes and like, the anticipation on waiting for an image and like waiting to see something. And the thought of thinking about when you were photographing, like, man, that image is going to be awesome. And then you see it and you're like, this is cool, but fuck, this could be better.
Yep.
And, you go through that little thing. So it's like, it's a journey, man. It's a journey that like keeps me preoccupied in the world. Like I say all the time, photography keeps me out of trouble. Photography saved my life for sure.
Yeah.
Lord knows.
You got money for anything else.
Lord knows what I'd be doing if I wasn't doing photography. And I'm not a bad kid, but still, you never know what people get into.
Yeah.
Like my grandma says, you get bored. That's the way for the devil to get in. You know what I'm saying?
Devil's
Yeah.
idle hands are devil's playthings.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. So photography keeps me busy. It keeps my brain working.
Yep.
It always intrigues me to like make better work. And when I see other people make work too, so like that's why I like, love things like, the Phoenix Film Revival. Just like
Yep.
seeing people care about images and like making images. I'm like,
Yep.
that's a life in itself. It's like we got the real world and then we got the film world.
Yeah.
And it's such a small spectrum to most people, but to us it's our whole life.
Yeah. Somebody asked, we had a workshop yesterday, and they're
You
like,
had one
"What-"
yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man.
It was just an intro to film.
Okay.
But one of the guys what did they mention? They said, so what are your real life jobs?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this is a dream job doing the lab work. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's always work to be done in the lab.
Oh yeah, man. And that's the thing too, as much of the work that needs to be done within the lab, there's the same amount of work that needs to be done within. So it's like, you can look at photography and you can do all these things to like make things look good and like, take all your time to learn the technical stuff, but it's like you got to reflect that stuff too and do it for yourself. Take care of yourself, take care of your brain, how you like put out energy into the world, how you like, reciprocate it.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff matters. It's yin and yang. It's a balance of all that stuff, man.
Yeah. For a while I was doing workshops and wasn't really taking care of my health or getting enough sleep
Yeah.
and it was
Gotta take care of
it was
you,
a
man.
struggle bus.
Yeah, man.
But
I'd
yeah.
rather other people hate me than my body hate me.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta take care of you, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. What else can we talk about film wise? What you got? What I got one for you. Where do you see your work headed? What are your goals, aspirations? And how do you think you'll get there?
How do I think I'll get there?
Yeah. What's the game plan?
I think I got to eat a lot of shit first. Like I think I have
Yep.
to do a lot of like what's a different word other than bitch work? I think I'm willing to, and I know
grunt work.
Yeah, man. I got to do a lot of the work that people don't want to do. Like, the put in the hours that like people usually want to be out and having fun or being at home just relaxing. Like I got to take that time and literally just put it all into photography. And
Yeah.
it's one thing putting all your time into photography and it not working, but it's like also be smart while you're putting all your time into something. Like if you're putting all your time to one thing, make sure you're like, being very open to like how you're going to get there. Don't try one way, like, mix stuff around, try approaching things differently every single time. And like if you find that one time where it works from this avenue, go that route. And then you find another just hit it from different spots, man. It's like, don't be stagnant with it, especially if you want to do it forever. You gotta be able to do it in different aspects. You gotta be able to fall in love with it from different aspects too. It's like you gotta love every part of it. You can't just love some of it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like a relationship. You can't just love one thing about a person. You gotta love all of it, even whether you hate it or not.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to be able to take it all, be able to do it. And where I would like to end, I don't know how I'll get there other than like, working under people, being an assistant maybe, word to mouth, talking to people. Just keep putting out work too, because if people see your work most of the time, they'll think about your work.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and yes, the Instagram thing we were talking about before and like algorithm, like you could post something, no, just get lost.
Yeah.
So more physical, like galleries put out books, and like, it's like little stuff like that, like being able to, and that's marketing too, putting it in people's face. You see an ad like 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
You gotta do that with your photography, and it's like, even if it's posting it on your story or like hitting up your friends, being like, hey, I just posted some new pictures. I would love to like, photograph you. Like not sending them leaks or anything, but like word to mouth, like just talking about it. Talking about yourself in certain ways and putting yourselves like, in rooms and like, you keep doing good work. Some people will do the work for you.
Right.
It's like, who knows what's going to happen with me and for me after this. Like, like you might talk to someone and maybe they'll hit me and be like, hey, you should come back to Arizona.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, what? And then I get a ticket in the next couple of months and I'm back here. It's like, little stuff like that. It's definitely putting your name and your work in different places and spaces.
Yeah.
And making everything physical. It's bigger than like what's in your hand, your cell phone. It's like, make work, put it on a piece of paper, make it big. Try to sell a print to someone. Maybe try to put it in a gallery or something. Maybe do commission work for other people.
Yeah.
Where I do want to be, I see it all the time, but I want to be a documentation photographer, and I want to photograph life. I don't want to be categorized, but I just want to do jobs really, and just put a camera in my hand, man. I think I'll be happy. Pipe dream. I want to swim with whales. some Nat Geo stuff.
Yeah.
I want to swim next to the whales, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to shoot some underwater stuff. That'd be cool. Africa's on my bucket list. I would love to go to Africa for sure. Do some portraits and stuff. Maybe hang out in a village for a month or so.
Yeah.
Just kind of learn their ways. And it's that's what I'm saying. It's the camera's a tool for you to learn more stuff.
Yeah.
It's I don't know how to survive without electricity in certain places, and to make food and how to go catch food. It's I would love to go somewhere and just be around and have a camera and because most of the time when you think about it, journalists don't really just go there and just do journalist things. It's when you're in an environment, you kind of have to adapt. And it's if someone needs help doing this,
Yeah.
you're not a photographer right now. You will always be one, but right now you're what this person needs, or you're kind of shaped by your environment regardless of where you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, photography can push you other places to do other new things, and who knows, maybe I'll fall in love doing something else in that process.
That's true.
And I'm young now, so you don't really know where I'll be in the next 10, 15 years, and what I'll fall in love with or what I'll have a love for. So I'm excited for that too.
Yeah.
Because I know where I want to go, but who knows what's coming with that.
True.
So just kind of staying on that road, staying out of trouble.
Yeah. There's some people who are I'm going to be this person.
Yeah.
And it's
you don't know that.
Yeah. Probably that's probably not going to happen, but
Nah.
you could be somebody who's similar to that, or you could be
100%.
You definitely should have goals,
Hell yeah.
I think people without goals struggle because it's where do you want to, how do you evolve out of this person that you are without creating a path of direction to move into.
Yeah.
So,
and be open too. Don't be all this is the only thing I want to do, and I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah.
And it's when you have that aspect about that, it's it kind of ruins everything. It's I work in a kitchen right now, and I work with dudes who love a kitchen. So it's just if I walk in a kitchen and I show it, I don't care about working in the kitchen, they're gonna be pissed.
right.
And it's that's something I've had to learn personally. It's okay, yeah, this is not your shit, but you better like it like it is yours.
Right.
Because it's these people are helping you get to where you want to get.
Right.
So it's you have to reciprocate 100%, regardless of what you're doing. Whether it's a day job and stuff, because you can't truly make a living off of just photography unless you're doing the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing parties and weddings, you're selling prints, and some people can just do one thing and make a living, but you got to be established though. Because you can't just make money and not be established. How do you make money if people don't know you or know where you're giving?
Yeah.
So it's just making money off of just photography would be a pipe dream. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's coming anytime soon. You never know, it might.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to move some stuff out of the way. But hey, man, if you're offering it, I'm willing to take it. So yeah, I hope photography becomes a day. I think how some people say you can't do what you love as a day job. I think if you love it, I think you can do it at any point and however way you want to do it.
Yep.
If you truly love something, I think if you don't truly love something, no, you couldn't do it.
Right.
You couldn't sit doing something for 8, 10 hours, 14 hours a day if you don't love it.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
It's funny because it's the time that I've put into building out the lab and getting to where it's at. A lot of it, that's a ton of work. But throughout that entire process, I look back at it and I look at myself right now and I'm oh, okay. Well, I guess that was work, but also it wasn't work.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't hurt I just wasted time. I've invested that time.
Yeah, and dude, if you were paying your bills with that stuff, it'll be a total different feeling.
Yeah.
So it's if you get to that point, yeah, you could do it. But right now, if you can't, then no.
Yeah.
It's
it would be nice to jump off.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of people that That's a back gate.
Oh, I was like, hello?
There's a lot of people I know that they're like, oh, just quit your day job, do this full time. You're just gonna have to do it.
You gonna pay my bills?
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, I don't know about that, but
It's better said than done, though, man.
yeah, there's definitely a huge risk there. But I'm pretty fortunate to work at a company where there's days that suck. There's days that are challenging, just like it is for anybody else. But it is a company that does visual photography, visual communications, vinyl graphics. We do the whole company is based around visual communication.
Okay.
So we're doing vinyl graphics. So even if it's not photography, you're still communicating your product, your something that you're advertising, that's something that you're selling. Which, for me, sales is a weird one. I've never really, it's hard to get into sales.
Yeah, because it's not human like. It's very like analytical. It's very like technology based.
Yeah, and I always have this underlying feeling like you're selling something to someone who doesn't need something.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there that do that, and it's uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
But when somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, this is my photography. I'd love to be able to sell it," and you're assisting somebody with representing the energy and the time and effort that they've put into creating this work, it's a really rewarding thing.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm excited to move in this direction, but to help others. So not only am I helping others with workshops here, I'm helping others sell their work. So even for me, as
being that like stepping ladder for other people.
yeah, and at some point down the road, I'll be more invested in my own photography. So there's a lot of people who are like, I want to be that photographer, but for me, what's rewarding is helping others.
Yeah,
and then
man.
I can see the challenges that they have, the mistakes they make, and be able to improve my photography as well at the same time while I'm helping others.
Agreed.
So, and also paying my bills.
Oh yeah,
So-
dude, and that's the first and most important thing, man. Gotta be able to take care of yourself. Gotta be able to know where you're laying your head at night.
Yep.
And I know that's the challenge of everyone in the world, and which probably is a little hard, but man, at some point we'll all figure it out.
Yep.
We'll figure out how to balance, how to take care of ourselves, and also do what we love to do.
Yeah.
And living in society in the U.S., it's like everything's getting expensive, but they're not paying people more.
Right.
So it's like we're all going through it,
Yep.
and I think we're all learning how to we're all learning how to compromise and make our shit work around
Right.
other people and with other people
Right.
inside of staying in your own bubble too. So
Yeah.
it's just I think we'll figure it out. I think it'll definitely take time though. Sometimes I think some people won't ever figure it out and some people will. That's kind of how it works.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's life.
Yes. 100%. That's why you just keep going. You stay persistent.
Yep.
And you keep that fire under your ass.
Yep.
Keep that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Keep it going.
Yeah, man. Inspire yourself. And if you can't inspire yourself, get out there and be inspired by other stuff.
Yep.
For sure.
So what got anything else you think of?
Mm,
Any shout outs to the peoples
Man.
that you know?
Shout out my mom. No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Mom.
Thanks,
But I would say shout out you guys for sure. I think this is dope. I don't live in Phoenix, but I think having something like this is also very cool.
Yeah.
And it's very beneficial to people who care about film and want to do something with film.
Yeah.
It's I think everyone should have their own little interest and their own bubble of something and a place that they can go and experience things outside of just being alone and making art. I think also being able to express it with other people who care is more important.
Right.
Us talking about cameras, it's sometimes you feel completely alienated just standing in a room talking about lenses.
Right.
Dude, and there's been numerous times where I've talked about lenses and everyone was just that's cool. I'm but I got a 50 and a 100 mil. Like, are you not like excited for me? They're just
But
like,
my lenses, bro.
yeah, but my lenses, bro, like focal length is, and like stuff like that. Like, it's exciting to me. Like, I love camera lenses.
Yeah.
And each camera lens is perspective. And like, I love different perspectives. And it's
Yeah.
like, it makes life interesting for me.
Yeah.
But I couldn't explain that to someone. So having other people to express your love with, it's like, I don't know if you can ask for anything better, man.
Yeah.
So I think having something like this is very appreciative.
Yeah. Thank you.
And hopefully it like skyrockets and gets to where it wants to be. And, you know, you can take care of yourself and you can start to like take care of other stuff and other people outside of this place too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole goal with usually any like organization or like, you know, business.
We'll get more listeners than the Joe Rogan podcast eventually.
Yes.
We'll get
Oh
there.
yeah. Oh yeah. We gotta get a couple of good people on here. We gotta
Yeah.
get Mike Tyson in here.
Yeah. Mike
He's like,
Tyson.
well, so I shot a roll of 35 film. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That would be great to interview people who don't do photography
Yeah.
at all and then talk to them about
Hey, man.
a subject they don't know anything
Hey
about.
man, just maybe even just become a cool podcast and, you know, maybe get out there and try to talk to different people.
Yeah.
Maybe and that's the thing though too. You can always take this and like blend it with other things.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to just stay one thing. It could also branch into different things too.
That's the nice thing about photography.
Man.
Is it kind of you're even if you know you're photographing something, you're not photographing film, you know, a roll of
Yeah.
film or
Dude.
cameras. You're photographing stuff.
Yeah,
you
another
know?
idea,
So,
like, hey, start looking into like digital people. Like maybe
Yep.
get people who are in the digital world and maybe like even talking to those people could like bring their demographic over to this demographic.
Yeah.
And I think connecting those, I think there needs to be a bridge in the middle for sure.
yeah.
There has to be a bridge between analog and the digital world
Yeah.
because it all matters. Definitely all matters.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe that's a good marketing thing though. Maybe you could talk to the Digiland and maybe, you know, bring over some of their peeps.
Them digi kids.
Yeah, the Digi kids. Yeah, talk to them Digi kids. I love
so
that.
advanced with their technology
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you had mentioned you have a camera that your lenses work on both.
Oh
Your
yeah, I got
film
the
and
whole
digital,
I got
so-
the whole F mount set up, man. I got a digital camera. I got two 35s, but I got like 6 or 7 lenses. 8 now.
Yeah.
I got like a 24 to 70, 80 to 200. I got a 16, 20, 28, 50, 105. Oh man.
Gotta catch them all.
Oh god, dude, it's Pokemon out here for sure. I was looking at a 180 the other day, and I'm like, why do I need this?
Yeah.
Because I want it.
Because
So it's like, yeah,
why not?
yeah, dude. It's like this is how I look at it. I want to do this forever. So like buying all the little toys and stuff, it's like it's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
It's like I'll actually be able to use it in like my professional life. Like once I actually become like I'm semi-professional. If we go back to the beginning, I would say
Yeah.
I'm semi-professional. Like I love doing it, but I know there's so much other stuff that I don't get. Like when it comes to like studio work, lighting, tethering, and like color grading, and like, you know, images and working
Yeah.
with different model agencies. You know, all the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much I don't know. So no, I'm not professional 100% yet. I don't believe I'm professional.
Yeah.
I want to get to a certain point where I like feel comfortable calling myself like, yeah, like I've done this for a couple of years. I'm pretty professional.
Well, you have respect for it. I think
Yes.
what really makes you professional is you have respect for the
I respect the things
craft.
I respect what's came before me and who's came before me for sure.
yeah.
Always willing to listen.
And you there's people who are professional. Doesn't mean they're they completely that's their genre, their
100%.
Their niche. So you can't go to somebody who's a portrait photographer and expect them to give you the best results when it comes to landscape photography,
I agree.
or vice versa. So studio lighting is completely different than natural lighting and understanding it. So. But I mean, there's always room to grow with photography.
100%.
That's the fun thing about it. I mean, you can go down any rabbit hole you want, and just keep digging.
Yeah, and I don't think there's ever like an ending point. Really, I don't think it ever stops. You could go as far as you want,
Yep.
but like it'll take you time and money to go as far as you want to.
Yeah,
So it's definitely photography is a long-term game.
Yep.
And you know, we've seen photographers who've done it their whole lives and like things not work. But it's like what's really making it with photography? Like, where do you truly want to be? It's like,
Right.
how much money do you really want to make? Like, do you want to make enough money to the point where you're just like out here alone by yourself and you only do like a couple of jobs?
Yeah.
I don't want to be that kind of photographer. I want my feet on the ground. I want to be able to physically touch and like see people. Like, I want to walk down the street and like, you know, see the same person I've been seeing for 5 years.
Yeah.
Get a photograph each year. All these different little stories, and I want them to be long term. I don't want. I mean, yes, street photography is short term, but I want everything to be long term. I want to continue to make stories and see certain faces for a very long time.
Yeah.
And if I don't see them for a very long time, at least just even getting that one moment where I have an image of someone for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And like, you know, throw galleries, throw a book together with just like 100 pages of just different portraits.
Yep.
Just call it like, you know, People of Earth.
Yeah.
Something like that. If you guys take my ideas, I'm just kidding. That's okay. Go ahead. It's enough room for all of us.
Pictures,
man.
Well, definitely should make a book.
Yes.
I would say your work is worthy of being put into a little book and then distribute that.
Oh, man. And hopefully we get better and better to the point where like I'll just be forced to make books. I can't put it on the internet anymore.
Yep.
Too much fire for the internet. I might break the gram. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you being on the show.
I appreciate you for even talking back to my annoying ass. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I appreciate you for letting me come into the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is awesome.
I was like, all right, you're going to visit Arizona. You're going to be on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, cool. You give me a place to talk about photos, bro. I'll talk forever, man.
Yep.
I'll tell you, man. I love photography, and I don't think I've ever not loved it. I've been irritated with it before, but it's more like been like personal.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, I suck. I want to get better. Don't get mad at the camera, dude. Get mad at yourself.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I love this stuff. So it's rewarding to be recognized and to be seen by other people who care about it too.
Yeah.
I just want to be included in the end.
Yep.
I just want my name to be there.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I look at it.
You want to be in the
if I'm at the
credits.
yeah, man. Even if it's like the top 100, put me at like 101. Just like people who almost made it. Just like put me there, man. That's all I want to be.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, man. I'm cool with whatever. Just let me have a camera and let me come hang out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I appreciate you coming on. And let everybody know, what's your Instagram again?
My Instagram is at Romero Nance. ROMERONANCE. It's like dance, but with the N in the front.
Nice. Okay. All right. And definitely follow John. Give him your support. Check out his work. Comment on his photos.
Yes, send me
like
mean messages in my DM, please. I love it.
Get in his DMs.
Yeah, slide my DMs, man. You're sliding anything, slide some slide film in there. You know what I'm saying? That stuff's expensive.
I appreciate you coming on. Hope you enjoy Arizona, and hope you come back soon.
Yeah, I'll drink more water for sure.
Yeah.
I promise. I swear.
Stay up with your water intake.
I will. I promise.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
Thank you.